Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. Thank you so much for joining today's meeting. And this is one of our quarterly meetings, and we have two of these meetings in a hybrid format with in-person audience, and then some of these are purely virtual, and this is one of those. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. Thank you so much for joining today's meeting. And this is one of our quarterly meetings, and we have two of these meetings in a hybrid format with in-person audience, and then some of these are purely virtual, and this is one of those virtual meetings, webinars. My name is Halil Ceylan. I'm a faculty member at Iowa State University. It's my 22nd year here, and I serve as the chair of the Uncrewed Aerial Systems Committee under ASCE T&DI, American Society of Civil Engineers, Transportation and Development Institute. You see the signs at the right bottom corner there. So thank you again for joining today's meeting. We're going to go through a few slides and then we will ask our guest speaker today to take it over. And this is the meeting agenda. As you can see, we'll start with a committee introduction. And then, if there are any updates from our leadership team members about the T&DI, we can cover those. And then, then we'll switch to the presentation by Dr. Qassim Abdullah of Woolpert Incorporation on transportation applications of UAS. So, and then, there will be some additional discussion after the meeting, and then eventually, we'll conclude the meeting with some closing remarks. So, and we are a relatively new committee
members,
and if any of you are interested in helping us with our
she's been a great help to us and is also our newest
please let us
committee
know.
officer.
You can actually utilize the chat box, and we will share our contact information in upcoming slides. If you would like to help with our committee activities, as you can see, let's say like you have web design skills, if you want to help with putting our meeting contents and other related information about our committee on the ASCE drop us an email to any one of those emails or the US committee email account. And we do have still availability in terms of our committee becoming a full voting member of this committee. If you want to be a full voting member, able to recruit some members through our past paying your dues and be in good standing. That's one of the requirements that comes from the ASCE. And same thing applies for so in terms of the committee leadership, have an introduction, you need to be actually paying your dues and be a full member of the officers. Committee. And again, my name is and again, our phone numbers and email addresses are out there. I greatly appreciate all the wonderful help that our officers have been providing. Program for Sustainable as I mentioned, we are relatively a new committee. Without their Institute for Transportation and help, this committee, I also serve as the possible. So I greatly appreciate all their wonderful work for all the committee activities. It's been a great joy and honor to work with them for the past several years. Center of Excellence and I see that aviation. So my great colleague, and I have a huge interest on infrastructure health monitoring, and that's why my interest comes related to the utilization of and email drones in the chat box. So that we have the attendance list. So again, you can utilize the chat box for this purpose. And we're gonna take your information so that you hear about our future committee activities. Next time we do a so I'm the founding chair of this. So we will send out an email and so that you can continue to get engaged and get informed about and I will let committee activities introduce themselves. And this is the committee mission statement.
Yeah, hello. Thanks everyone for joining. My name is Blaine Ruck.
You can see that, and again, our goal is to develop a roadmap
and I am located in Central Oregon. I work for Deschutes County Road Department as a transportation engineer.
From
so I'm
academia,
in addition
industry,
to
and
managing
government
all
with
our
interest in the development of uncrewed aircraft systems,
I also manage our
technologies, and
UAS
their
program
applications
here
to transportation
at the Road
management.
Department. And so
we are under,
I've
again,
been
as you
using
know,
drones for many years now.
We are under the Transportation
mostly use them for
Development
pavement
Institute.
inspections, asset
Then
inspections,
our goal is also
as
to
well
serve
as construction site monitoring and other
airport
tasks.
operators,
So,
industry, academia,
yeah, I'm happy to be a part of this committee.
Federal government, a
It's
collective
really
voice
been
with
a great
respect
chance
to
to
policy
grow
and regulations.
and be in the UAS space.
As you know, we are
and,
relatively a
meet
small
lots of
group
interesting
of people.
colleagues and,
I mean, in the whole
hear interesting topics as well. So,
aspect
yeah,
of
thank you all so much for
transportation
joining.
engineering.
And,
So
I'll
we
turn it
greatly
over
appreciate again
to our
your
next
involvement and getting engaged with us related to the utilization of drones, UAVs, UAS
my
in
name's
transportation
I'm one of
engineering.
the assistant county engineers in Johnson County. And I've been doing much like Blaine.
In terms of updates from the T&DI
management,
I'm not seeing my colleague
on the
from
application
the.
side.
We are located under, by the
Johnson
way,
County
the Emerging
is
Technologies
pretty
Council.
urban county,
and
but
I
we
can
have
just
a lot of infrastructure.
provide an
and,
update. Blaine, did you have any
we're looking at
slides
different
related to
ways
the
of,
upcoming conference?
leveraging UAS technology.
We have some slides related to the conference at the end of the presentation.
But, the increasing
it may be worth mentioning now that upcoming ASCE ICTD International Conference on Transportation and Development taking place in June in Atlanta, Georgia. So our committee members will be there, and we'll be, I think we have 2 sessions at the conference with some very interesting committee outreach coordinator, Wei Lin, and we're also planning to probably host join us today committee meeting similar to this one, but that will be in person. Excellent job at hybrid format. Prepare, and colleagues who may not be attending all these in person can still quarterly meetings participate, and that's something to look out for. Helps with outreach more about that committee members at the end of the presentation in advance of these.
Thank you, Blaine. And again, that meeting is going to take place in mid-June in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's going to be June 16th, Sunday, all the way through Wednesday, June 19th. But you will hear about it. So these are our contact information, as you can see. As I mentioned earlier, we do those meetings in hybrid format, in-person attendance plus virtual participation. If you are interested in becoming a full member of our committee, please, next slide. Just either drop us an email. So now we do have one of those emails or the US committee email account, and we do have still availability in terms of in this becoming a full voting member of this committee. Dr. Qassim, if you want to be a full voting member, you need to be a title is the chief scientist at Woolpert dues and be in good standing. He's the vice president in that organization. That comes from the ASCE. And same thing applies for committee officers. If you want to have an officer role, him taking the time to share your views and be a full member of the and knowledge in this area, and he will be delivering a presentation. And again, our phone numbers and email applications of UAS. I greatly appreciate all the wonderful help that our officers have been providing. As I mentioned, we are relatively a new committee.
Thank you
Without
very much.
their dedication and help, this committee, these meetings would not have been possible. So I greatly appreciate all their wonderful work for all the committee activities. It's been a great joy and honor to work with them for the past several years. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you
my great colleague,
as expert. You all expert in it. I just just tackle your thoughts about where we are in the industry,
in the chat box,
at least in my space
the attendance list. So again,
Woolpert.
You can utilize the chat box for this purpose. And we're going to take your information so that you hear about our future committee activities. Next time we do a quarterly meeting, so we will send out an email and so that you can continue to get engaged and get informed about our committee activities. This is the committee mission statement.
We were the first company to acquire.
And again, our goal is to develop a roadmap and serve as a forum for the exchange of ideas and knowledge among users, researchers, and engineers from academia, industry, and government with interest in the development of uncrewed aircraft systems, technologies, and their applications to transportation management. We are under, again, as you know, ASCE has several institutes. We are under the Transportation and Development Institute. Then our goal is also to serve as a resource
with the American Society of
operators,
Photogrammetry
industry,
a lot on it.
consultants,
I
and
teach
federal
a workshop every year.
A collective voice with respect to policy and regulations.
Business,
as you know, we are relatively a small group of people. In the whole aspect of transportation engineering. So we greatly appreciate again your involvement and getting engaged with us related to the utilization of drones, UAVs, UAS in transportation engineering.
So the strength of our UAS, the drones,
in terms of
really
updates from the T&DI management, I'm not seeing my colleague from we are located under, by the way, the Emerging Technologies Council. But I can just
do a larger
provide an
project.
update. Blaine, did you have any slides
But
related
when
to
it
the
comes to
upcoming
smaller
conference?
project, we cannot, our client
We
cannot
have some
afford to
slides
pay us
related to the
for
conference at
manned
the end of the
aircraft and
presentation.
Yeah.
LiDAR on it
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
things
it
like
may
that.
be
It's
worth
too
mentioning
expensive.
now that
So we
upcoming
always shy away from
ASCE
very small
ICTD
projects like
International
road
Conference on
intersection, for
Transportation and
example.
Development
So the drones
taking place in
just came
June
perfect way
in
for
Atlanta,
airborne
Georgia. So
acquisition.
our committee
It is
members
most
will be there,
affordable, ease of use
and
and
we'll be, I
deployment,
think we have 2
quick
sessions
turnaround, and
at
collect
the
once
conference
use multiple
with
ways,
some
like
very
any
interesting
mapping
presentations.
tool,
And
definitely.
we're also planning to
So
probably
if you
host
see
a committee meeting
that's the
similar to this
space
one that will be
the
in
drone is
person,
filling,
but in a
especially if you
hybrid
put
format,
LiDAR on
so
it, because
that
we
colleagues who
have
may not be
mobile
attending the
LiDAR
conference
on
in
the road,
person can still
very dense,
participate.
very
So
accurate,
that's something to
but
look out
also
for,
very
and
expensive
we'll
to
talk more
operate
about
in the
that
process,
probably at the end
definitely.
of the presentation. So,
And
Thank you,
if we
Blaine. And
want
again, that meeting is
dense
going to take
LiDAR,
place
we
in
have to
mid-June in
go
Atlanta, Georgia.
really to
So that's
helicopter
going to be June
beside the
16th,
mobile
Sunday,
mapping.
all the way through Wednesday,
But
June
helicopter
19th.
also
But
is very
you will hear
expensive.
about it.
So
That's
the
when our
drones
next
comes
quarterly meeting
perfect
will take
things where it
place.
give you
As I
200,
mentioned earlier, we
300
do
points
those
per
meetings
square
in a hybrid
meter
format,
with a
in-person
fraction of the
attendance plus
cost
the virtual participation.
of operation and
And
acquisition as
next
compared to the
slide.
mobile mapping
So now
or
we do have
helicopter.
our speaker. He's actually a very well-known colleague with,
It's a
I would
strength
say, the
of like
outstanding
any
involvement,
aerial
achievements
collection
in
tool,
this, say, the domain.
especially if you have camera and
Dr.
LiDAR, but
Qassim
even if you
Abdullah,
just have
he's now
camera, you
with,
can create
his
ortho, you can
title
create
is the Chief
DTM,
Scientist at
DSM,
Woolpert
colorize, and so
Incorporation.
on.
He's the Vice President in that organization. So
starting, if we look at the dynamic in our industry now,
grateful
surrounding
for
the
him
UAS
taking the time
business,
to
you
share
really
his
have FAA regulations,
expertise and
you have
knowledge in this
hardware and
area, and he will
software
be delivering a
technology
presentation
and
on
advancement in
transportation
that field,
applications of
and user
UAS.
and
So
operator education. Those
with
are
that,
three
Dr.
things
Abdullah.
really revolve around our business. Thank you very much. So if we look at the FAA regulation, I think we are in a good shape now with the FAA. We started, we struggled, the industry struggled for almost 10 years.
Yes,
because they
everything
don't know
looks
what to
great.
do. I mean, to keep now safe. Thank you very much. And
Thank
this
you.
is new to them. Thank you for the opportunity. They don't know what it is. So we struggle at the first all expert in it. 5 to 10 years to get anything. Your thoughts about where we are in the industry. I think they are at least more relaxed, very comfortable with it. And you see the latest one now. Woolpert just enforced this month, half geospatial, half engineering and planning we do. And they allow people, they allow us to fly over people and flying at night, which is a great thing. And we involve with the drones a lot. Hardware and software, probably technology, we definitely we are in a good shape, you know, because we have all these platforms to acquire the hybrid one, and it's a great technology, very affordable. We are no complaint about the first company to get for mapping business exemption, like the free. And that's what you see now. So, I mean, so we have a big fleet of so many platforms in the market of drones here. So suit anybody. I'm also involved. I teach for Penn State a course on as processing software. I think we are in similar situation for UAS. And I'm involved with the American Society of Photogrammetry, capable software. So I teach a workshop every year. Metaship on drones, Pix4D, correlator business, definitely master, RGIs, they have a drone to map. So we have good option, and they are very capable. Some of them very capable, definitely. I use Pix4D more or less. I was for my class, and we use it also with Woolpert too. I'm just starting the time. So, and so if you look at the technology, I mean, the camera on UAS is nothing new about it. I mean, is really different. Obvious for everybody. But having drones on UAS is a big thing. Just because, like I said, we do a larger project. We cannot send a LiDAR, $2 million when it comes to smaller projects, and we cannot, our client cannot afford to pay us for economically manned aircraft and LiDAR with the UAS-based LiDAR. So we always shy away from very small. And there is a good offering in the market. You have the Cadillac, so the drones just came perfect way for airborne acquisition. The cheapest one, but it is most affordable, ease of use and deployment. They're producing quick turnaround and collect once used multiple ways. Like we have really, we are in a good shape with the technology. And last thing I hear about DJI space, they started with $20,000. Especially if you now they say they reduce it to $10,000. We have mobile LiDAR on the road. This is amazing. Very dense, very accurate, but also very expensive to operate and that's what you see. The one on the right is if we want dense LiDAR, we have to go from a drone really to helicopters beside the mobile mapping. Helicopter also is very expensive, but that's what you get from these things, especially if you have LiDAR and imagery. You get a nice with a fraction of the cost. Good DS operation and acquisition as compared to the mobile and awareness. I think this is a problem for us. I mean, just because strength of like many of the what I call tool drone operator, if you have camera and LiDAR, and that's very true. I mean, a lot of people got excited about the drone, DTM, DSM, and they start buying it and try to sell a product, whether real estate, I mean, as maps. Starting, if we look at the dynamic in our industry now, what's under the hood for mapping, the UAS business, they don't have an idea about accuracy, regulations, you have hardware and software, they start technology and advancement to the software. And user and operator education. Those are three things. Really. They made it kind of black box, bushboard around easy to use. Business here. Anybody so if we look at the FAA regulation, and really I think we are in a good shape now with the FAA. We started, we struggled, and so we are working hard with the American Society because they don't know what to do. I mean, to keep to bring that community. And this is new to them. They get educated, experience, they don't know what it is. So I teach workshops every year, like I said, and I have a lot of them coming. Like anything, I have 60 people. Most of them really, I think they are more relaxed, which is nice. I mean, and you see the latest one now, responding to that call. We need to open our remote ID and educate them. March 16, they will do. And they allow people. They allow us to fly over people and fly at night, which is great people. I mean, crawl before you run or walk. For hardware and software and technology, we definitely develop all parts of successful because you have all these platforms. I mean, safety and the hybrid management and there's a great technology, very affordable, no complaint. So all these concepts need to be understood before you really claim. And that's what you see now. I mean, you see so many platforms in the market. So I will focus on my background. I'm focusing on budget, on accuracy and data quality. Process software, I think we are in a similar situation for the few mapping accuracy standard for ASPRS software. Publishing the new version when the meta share, I guess, public comments yesterday for the correlator 3D UAS. So I'll just walk you through RGIs. They have drawn to map. So we have good option, and they are very capable. Some of them very capable. Definitely, I use Pixel for my class, and we use it also of aerial photography. I mean, how you get a good image? You're gonna fly in different environment, overcast. If you look at the technology, I mean. The camera on a drone, you need to manipulate the camera about shutter speed and all the different classical. But having a drone on UAS is a big thing, just because, like I said, of mapping. For a smaller project, we can understand some basic $2 million statistic and man the aircraft. Without knowing those, it's not just you're going to deliver economically is not feasible. But with the UAS based line, not accurate, and made it very doable. And there is a good offering in the market. You have the Woolpert and the Eagle, it can cause a problem, and you have DJI, the cheapest one, but also very efficient. You have the wrong place. They're producing Validine LiDAR. So we have really people to stick to a mapping technology. And if you are selling map DJI, they started with $20,000. Now they say they reduce it to $10,000. Mapping is standard now in the market. Really, the ASPRS positional accuracy standard for digital, and that's what you see, the one on the right. And I'll walk you through why. Because the LiDAR we designed it for ease of use, because a lot of people come into our industry, they don't have the background of mapping and photogrammetry from this, and all this, especially if you have LiDAR, like we have a traditional photogrammetry before. And you have so it's designed where the user, all they need to say, the education and awareness requires accuracy from the problem for us. If I need 5 centimeter accuracy for my ortho, many of my what I call vertical accuracy for my LiDAR, I just say 5 centimeter according to a lot of people got excited about drones, and then the standard really will set up try to sell the accuracy of the ground control should that need to be used for processing without understanding what's aerial triangulation for mapping, processing. They don't have an idea what accuracy checkpoint for verification, for example, and they start and it provides nice thanks to the software, formal software I mentioned. Statement for the accuracy. They made it kind of black box, push button, easy to use. Anybody can load their imagery, and really they can process automatically without knowing that according to the standard or any standard. We are working hard through the American Society of Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing. The ground control has to be much more accurate than the data they get educated, they get accuracy of the product. So I teach workshop every year, like I said, and I have a lot of them coming. Like I have 60 people. Most of them really from drone background, so which is nice. I mean, they claim they just 1 centimeter to that accuracy without knowing what it takes. Open our arms for them, educate them. I'm not saying it's not doable. You can do anything really if you know what you're doing. But when somebody claims, advise people 2 centimeter accuracy before you run or walk, for example, according to the old version of the standard, take the time to develop all parts of successful survey program or project to half centimeter accuracy. I mean, safety and half deliverable data management, especially the vertical accuracy, planning, hardware. The only way to do it is differential leveling. So all these cannot do it with the GNSS before you really claim you're running mapping. And once you go to differential leveling, the cost of each focus on my background, I'm focusing from 200-300 on accuracy and data quality, to 1800 kind of leading, which nobody can afford it. And that's what they need to understand. Mapping accuracy standard for ASPRS, we just publishing a new version and went into public comments yesterday through a few projects. So I would just walk you through how we look at accuracy quality from a drone here. First one is, we flew definitely whoever operates need to have our headquarters of aerial photography. I mean, control how you get a good image. You're gonna fly in different which environment, you see here, a lot of ground control over sand, white sand. You need to manipulate the camera, shutter speed, and very accurate survey, differential leveling to be used for calibration and accuracy to understand some basic of mapping. And I create to understand some basic of statistics. You don't see it here because without knowing no ground control, you're going to deliver something. The idea is how many ground control I need to get maybe it's not accurate. The minimal number is used for us. So we need to find out public what is that minimal. So you see it can cause a problem. A has tried a lot of ground control. Somebody B, there is no use a map in the wrong place. C, there is only 4, 1 in each corner. So and D, and we advise people to stick to a mapping standard. And I kept increasing. If you are selling map from a drone to see where the sweet spot for stick to a mapping accuracy versus and the best mapping standard now in the market. Really, the ASPRS positional accuracy standard produce like digital. Scenario A, B, C, D, geospatial data. And now for the horizontal, for example, this standard we design it for ease of use. And because a lot of people come into our industry, they don't have the background of mapping and photogrammetry and all this for horizontal, like we have a traditional photogrammetry before. So it's designed where But
the
for
user,
vertical, you
all
really
they
need
need to
minimum of
say
5, one
is specify
in the
their
middle to come
required
from
accuracy
1.3
from the
feet,
product. If I need
accuracy
5
of the
centimeter
elevation
accuracy
to the point
for my ortho,
but that's how we
or
develop
5 centimeter
our
vertical accuracy
knowledge
for my
about
LiDAR,
what it
I
takes
just say 5
to
centimeter
get
according
accurate.
to
The second
ASPRF
project,
standard
this is
class,
for, I think, Ohio DOT.
and then the standard
road
really will set
intersection.
up
They have a lot of
what is the accuracy of the ground control
accident around it,
that need to
and
be
they want
used
to
for
develop
processing.
it. So
What
we used
accuracy
to
of aerial triangulation,
mobile mapping will collect
processing,
for them and
what
aerial
accuracy
imagery.
of the
But when
checkpoint
the
for
drones came
verification,
online,
for
they want to
example,
know what
can
it does
it
for
provide
them, what
nice
can do for them, and
formal
what we can
reporting
do for with it.
statement for the
So
accuracy?
we flew this intersection with 2 altitude, 100 feet above ground and 300 with these
And why that's important? Because according to the standard or any standard,
and we have
when
the
you-
mobile
when
mapping,
you
what you see
process
here,
data,
that's the mobile
the ground
mapping. So I
control has to
created
be much
additional
more
ground
accurate
control
than the
for
data
the
you
accuracy
produce or the
verification
accuracy of the
from the
product you are
mobile mapping.
producing.
Mobile mapping
And
is
that's
very
what is
accurate.
misunderstood by
Like
a lot of those
400
drones
foot
operator who's selling
vertically, the most accurate
products, for
is,
example.
It's like
So
the
if so-
accuracy of
they claim
land surveying.
1 centimeter
And so I
vertical
thought,
accuracy
since I
without
have
knowing
it,
what
let me
it
say I
takes.
created
But
5
but I'm not saying
different
it's not
points
doable. You
along
can
the
do
profile
anything
every
really if
25
you know what
feet.
you're doing.
I ended up having
But
over
when somebody
like
claims
400,
2 centimeter
548 or
accuracy,
something checkpoint to
according to
verify
the
the
old
accuracy
version
of
of the
drone.
standard,
So here,
that
what you
means the
see
ground
here,
control has
just
to
how
be
we
surveyed
evaluate the
to half
LiDAR.
centimeter
First,
accuracy.
I have
And half
79 survey
centimeter
points,
especially the
differential
vertical leveling.
accuracy.
The
First,
only way
I
to do it is
verify
differential leveling.
the
You cannot
DSM
do it
coming
with the
from the mobile
GNSS
mapping
RTK.
because without verifying that,
Period.
I cannot
And
use it
once
to
you go to differential
control another
leveling,
process. So I
the
verified
cost
it was
of
400
each surveying
foot,
each ground control
and then
goes from
when I
200-300, it
the
jumped to
DSM from the
$1,800,
100,
which nobody can afford it. And that's what they need to understand.
I found it to be
yes, it's doable,
0.15,
but
and the one from the
not
300
affordable, definitely.
DSM accuracy using this
So I'll
ground
walk you
control is
through a few
0.296, which
projects,
makes sense.
like
higher
how
you
I
fly,
assess
the
accuracy from
less
drones,
accurate
for
the
example.
product.
First one is,
And this is
we flew our first
the
drone
last
years ago.
project
Our
is
headquarters
we
for
built
control
control field around our
and similar things.
headquarters,
We
which
do
you see here.
mobile mapping
A
LiDAR
lot of ground
for them, and
control
aerial
and profile,
manned
gutter
aircraft. And also they
curbs,
want to know what the
very,
drones
very
can do
accurate
for
survey,
them. Can they use it
differential
to
leveling, to replace
to be
the
used for
manned
calibration
aircraft
imagery,
and
so they
accuracy
can create a
assessment
brake
here.
line and things like that. And
So
I created,
we flew
the 7
they give us a
scenario,
stretch
the
of
B,
road
you don't see it here because
around
there's no ground
I think
control.
81 or
But
87.
the idea
This
is,
one. And
how many ground
at the
control
time
I
we
need
could
to
not
get certain
fly
accuracy?
over
The
people.
minimal
So
number, the better for us.
we
So we
use
need
our
to find out
EBX.
what is
with
that
the
minimum.
SODA 3D,
So,
which
so you see,
kind of oblique. It can give you
has
a lot of
extendable
ground
viewing
control.
angle.
B, there is no ground
So we were
control.
lucky to be able
C, there is
to
only
cover
the
4,
highway
one in each
from
corner,
these roads.
and D.
So we flew
I
it
added
east and
one in
west
the middle,
blocks, but we
and
processed
I
it
kept
all
increasing
in one block
to
because there was
see
enough
where
overlap
where
between
the sweet
the
spot
last
for
line from the
accuracy
west and the
versus
first line
number
from
of
the
ground control, and that's what you
produce
we
I
brake line.
produce
We
like
did it from stereo photogrammetry.
scenario A, B, C,
We
D,
produced digital severance
which means
model
square
and
error for the
ortho-rectified, and we
horizontal,
did
for
all
example, and for
all the
elevation.
evaluation for them.
Like here,
And
if
that's
you
how
see
we
the one on
come
the
up,
left is a
like
3-inch
grinding
imagery
5
we
or 7
collected in the
by
previous year
evaluating this
from manned aircraft.
number, like
While
for
the one on the
horizontal
right
is from
we
the
got
drone, from the
okay
UAS,
after
1 inch
four, but you see the
ground
quality if you
control.
look at the rumbling.
But for vertical, you really
pad
need
here,
minimum
you
of
see it
5,
very
1
clear
in the middle
drone's
to
imagery,
come
from
from
the one in
1.3 feet.
on the left,
Accuracy of
this is
the
taken with the
elevation to
camera
the
cost
0.3.
$1 million
But that's how we
camera.
develop
But you cannot
our
really see it
knowledge
just
about
because
3
what
inch.
it takes
Each
to
pixel to get accurate. The second project, this is for, I think, Ohio DOT. It was just a road intersection. They have a lot of quality of the cheap camera on the drone, and they want to develop better quality than we used to. Just because we fly mobile mapping, we collect for them and aerial imagery. And that's a project we created came online, they photogrammetry. What it does for them, what can do for them, and what we can do with it. And so we flew the contour generated intersection with 2 altitude, the contour from the mobile mapping versus the contour with these from the UAS as a ground control. And we have the mobile mapping, what you see here, statistic the mobile mapping. So I created additional ground control of systematic for the accuracy verification. And sure enough, the mobile mapping. The mobile mapping is very accurate, like 400th of a foot. Vertically, standard deviation very low. That's an indication of systematic the accuracy of the data. Once we remove that, and so I thought, since I have it with me, so I created. You see the different points along the profile, the real 25 feet. I ended up having accuracy like from the 548 or something. So checkpoint to verify the accuracy of the drone. So here, what you see here, just how we evaluate the LiDAR first. This is for 79 survey. The one I mentioned differential leveling. First, I verify the DSM coming from the mobile mapping, because without verifying that, the California State University who control another process. So I verify it. It was 400 the technology for them. So we flew, and then when I checked system and the camera, the DSM from the have a nice test field, which you see here on the left. I found they have like 83. And the one from the 300 accurate DSM accuracy surveyed with differential level for elevation and total, which makes sense. The higher you those fly, are the system we flew at the time. The product, the Velodyne 32 beam, the Velodyne 16. The last project we done is for energy DOT. And similar things. We look at the data, we evaluate it, we secret an aerial map, look at the scan background, and also they want to know what the drones can do for them. Can they use it to? We look at the intensity image, the quality image, which is it can create a great intensity image actually. So because those are much cheaper with LiDAR. They give us a stretch of road we fly around aircraft. We looked at the smoothness of this one profile over building. At the time, we could not fly. We look at the power line, which is important. We use our EBX with the power line, 3D, and you see it here. Kind of oblique. It did a great job. It can give you extendable the power line angle. So we were lucky to be able to cover the highway. Important things for us for LiDAR. So we flew it east and west blocks, but we process it from under the trees in one block because they're from the ground. Because we don't want the last line from the canopy. All we concern about the profile of the ground under the canopy. Use the black line. So that's we always photogrammetry. We produced digital surface model. You want to see how accurate, and we did all the positional, all the evaluation for them. Like here, you see like the one on the left is the 3-inch was the most collected in the previous year. That makes sense. It's the most expensive one between all of them. While the one on the right is from the drone, well known for LiDAR manufacturer. But you see the quality. If you look at the rumbling pad here, I just want to show you a couple in the drone project spotlights. While the one in the on the left, this is taken with a camera cost $1 million municipal airport, but you cannot really see it. Just because they want each pixel extend the runway, cover 9 pixels from the 1 inch major operation. So it's just very obvious. Construction of this is giant of the cheap camera. You see the scale of really better how high is that fill just because we fly in very low here. I don't know and that's a product we created from photogrammetry. You see the point clouds and DSM. And that's what they use. Actually, in one stage generated from the drone's profile, we did for the mobile mapping calculation and profile. They figure out the contractor didn't follow the plan. And we go into analysis of a whole section down here. We look for mean, maybe you can see an indication of systematic error in the data. And they have to redo and sure enough, there was definitely a systematic error. So it comes very handy, definitely, for engineering application. While the standard deviation very low, that's an indication of systematic bias. They didn't follow in the data. Once we remove that bias, another project of the mean, you see the rightmost column, that's maintenance and inspection. You enhance the accuracy from the point 2 to you see, like we map the cracks, all the cracks. So that's you can see it very clearly. Things we keep an eye on. I think that the resolution of the image was maybe 2 millimeters. For the project, very high resolution. This is for we did the one I mentioned earlier. We did for Calitron. So my final thoughts on the conducting drone business contracted with the California State University, who contracted regulation is finally catching up with the demands. That's the technology for them. So like I said, we struggle at the beginning, but there was a lot of pressure on them. They have a nice test field, which you see here on the left, and they have like 83 now. Drones and sensor technology far exceed our checkpoints. We have a good differential level for our innovation and total place now in time. And those are the system we flew at the time. Educating the workforce on the 32 is a challenge. We still have line 16 to have box and drone operator has the sense when it comes to providing. So how we look at the data, we evaluate it, we synchronize everything. We look at the so that's all I have here, and see what that's I'm showing only for the mini box from Regal. We look at the intensity image, the quality of it, which is it happened to be really great for this wonderful presentation. Because
we actually have plenty of time for questions, answers, and discussion, and I highly encourage the audience to take advantage of an extremely knowledgeable, experienced colleague. He's been involved with these technologies for over 3 decades, so a wonderful platform. So what questions do we have from the audience? You're welcome to utilize the chat box or unmute yourself and ask your say the questions.
Very clearly.
Let me go.
Important things for LiDAR. Do you get enough return from under
there was a question from that was already answered.
Because we don't want the foliage top
what questions
of the
do we have
canopy.
from the audience
All we concern about the profile of the ground under the canopy, and so that's we always keep an eye on that. And at the end, you want to see how accurate it is, the positional accuracy.
Hopefully you can hear me.
And you see like the mini box was the most accurate one between 4 of them, and that makes sense. It's the most expensive one between all of them, and done by a company well known for LiDAR manufacturer.
Because that's a lot of what we.
I just want to show you a couple project spotlights we did with our drones. This is
figuring how much control we're going to
municipal airport
road system or
in Indiana.
You know,
they want to extend the runway.
Like how much
and
control
so
and what
they
type
have
and what
major
accuracy.
operation on
So has there been
construction.
were you able to
This
publish
is
any of that
giant.
information, Doctor?
You see the scale of it. How
Not
high is
really,
that
no.
film?
We did it for our
There.
own education.
And here I
Like you mentioned, I mean, we try to answer
That just shows you.
that question for our client and ourselves. How much do we need? So unfortunately,
And that's
I
what
don't think
they
we
use
published it
actually in one
officially,
stage.
and we did one for
From the
road, by the
drones
way.
profile, we did
it
for
is
them the
on
volume
county
calculation
line
and
road.
profile.
We took about
They
1.3 miles.
figure
and
out and we flew with the ground control, and I did the similar what you saw. So they have to tear a whole section scenario from A to G or something like that. Maybe you can see it here. How often I need control, and they have to redo the whole thing, definitely. So it comes very handy every mile, half mile application. But I can share that with you if you send me your email or something. I can send you the presentations if it can help. Another project for
that would be terrific.
airport.
I really
maintenance and inspection.
Your comments about accuracy
and you see, like,
you can
we
do
have
anything
the
you want,
cracks, all the cracks. You can see it very clearly.
That's a big part of the
I think
problem that we have with this technology.
The resolution of the
new
image
enough
was
that
maybe
very,
2
very few
millimeter,
people
if I
seem to
remember
know what
right.
they're doing.
Very high resolution.
So it's great that you're sharing this kind of information so that people can start to develop workflow.
My final thoughts on conducting
trying to
drone
determine those
business,
things on our own level.
FAA rules.
Yeah, I'll be sure to send you my email.
Regulation is finally catching up with
the very
from
what
the
you found
industry.
out.
Like I said, we struggled at the beginning, but there was a lot of pressure. When I mentioned we released yesterday, definitely we have a beautiful addendum on UAS, by the way, now. The drones and sensor technology far exceed photogrammetry and LiDAR. We have great advancement. We are in a good shape. If people really want to learn the right way, so that's why we're doing it for these operators to educate them. They can read something like that and use it on everyday task, and they will be very successful. To have the drones operator has the sense when it comes
Thank
to
you so much, Dr. Abdullah,
providing
kindly answering this question. So
data,
what other
example,
questions do we have from the
so
audience?
that's
And again,
all I
feel free
have
to
here,
unmute yourself or
and
utilize
see what you
the
want to
chat
do.
box to write down and ask your questions. So thank you so much, Dr. Abdullah, for this wonderful presentation. We actually have plenty of time for questions, answers, and discussion, and I highly encourage the audience to take advantage of an extremely knowledgeable, experienced colleague who's been involved with these technologies for over 3 decades. So a wonderful platform. So what questions do we have from the audience? You're welcome to utilize the chat box or unmute yourself and ask your
photogrammetry software.
Let me go.
I actually use Agisoft Metashape as well.
Okay.
Do you have a mission planning software that you favor for some of these types of applications that you discussed?
That was already answered.
Mission planning, you mean for
what questions do we have from the audience for
yes,
Dr.
correct,
Abdullah?
Yes.
Yeah, the one I use for my class with Penn State is the mission planner from RD or something like that. It is really great. It's a free software. You can do everything you need. You can use it not only for a drone, for any regular aerial camera, for example.
Is that information published somewhere where we can get
certain platforms, certain drones, you can even fly. They have cockpit in it.
Struggle with
so
as local agencies.
If you're not familiar with the plane, I can send you the link to it. And
sure,
that's what I use for my students. I mean, it's very easy. I spend 10 minutes with them, train them on it, and they can use it.
Like that. Yeah. How much control and
okay, great. Yeah, that would be amazing. I'm always interested in, there's so many software platforms for drones, and so it's always interesting to try out different ones and see what maybe works the best
education,
for certain
like you mentioned. I mean, we try to answer. I will send you that. To answer that question for our client and ourselves, how much do we need?
And I guess I have one other question. So
I don't think we published it officially, and we did one for roads, by the way. I mean, it is on county line road. We took about 1.3 miles.
In your mind, is there one application or one environment where using drones is like the most challenging,
scenario from A to G or something like that? How
for me,
often
like
I need
proximity to airports and
the route,
interstate highway facilities can be kind of challenging. But what is your opinion on that? Do you have a?
But I can share that with you. Operation-wise, email or space and things like that. I can send you the presentation.
Right. Yeah. operations planning,
if it can help that way. Yeah, we find I mean, until recently, we can fly the EBX. That's the only, I think, plane you can. We find the problem is, flying around developed urban area when you have roads and people. We could not do that much before, but at least now we have relief with the EPX. They permitted to fly. But other than that, really, we don't have a problem on our engineering project and road. But other than getting waiver or getting or being allowed to fly over these places.
I would be very interested in what you found out.
Interesting.
Absolutely. And like in the new version, like the one I mentioned we released yesterday, SPRS, we have a beautiful addendum
Any other
on
questions from
UAS,
the
by the
audience?
way. Divided like into photogrammetry and LiDAR, two sections. I mean, if people really want to learn the right way, presentation, if you want to share that's why we're doing it for these operators to educate. They can read something like that and use it on every day.
Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it. Actually, we post these recordings. You know, we're recording the meeting as a video file on the YouTube channel of our committee. We also make the presentations available. We greatly appreciate your generosity making that
and again,
feel free to unmute yourself or utilize the we get some, you know, let's say the common questions related to UAS technologies, Dr. Abdullah. I can ask some of those, you know, the items. One of them is integration of UAS in our, you know, let's say the general aviation space.
I appreciate
and
you,
for example,
in your presentation,
when you think it's going to be possible, you know, we start
applications of UAS in a very
receiving
practical way,
Amazon packages or
really showing how they
Woolpert
can
and other
be
companies. I know they've
real-world
already
projects.
been working with,
for me,
you know,
that's really great as a drone user.
UAS companies to
I'm
make
curious,
those kinds
talked
of
about,
things possible.
some
What
of
are your thoughts on
structure
it
for
when you think
motion
that's going to become a
photogrammetry software.
reality? What
I
challenges do you
actually
see
use
ahead?
Agisoft Metashape as well.
Yeah, no, I
do you
don't
have
any
a
doubt
mission
that
planning
we're gonna
software
see
that
it
you
very soon
favor
in the
for
near
some of
future,
these types of applications that you
like I
discussed?
said, we are really in mission planning time for flight planning and things like that.
Right. Yes,
I
correct.
don't see why we cannot. The one I use for my class with Penn State, like drones, the way mission Amazon and other people plan to do it, or something like that, UPS and things like that. So, it is really great. The problem gonna be the airspace software. Definitely, you can do everything you need, and the people perception and acceptance. That's what probably gonna be in the neighborhood, in the subdivision. For people gonna be open. Certain drones you can have fly drones fly low over their head. So, but if you're not familiar with the plane, we will adopt it very quickly. People will know what it means and say. I mean, it's very easy. As a safety, 10 minutes with them, all gonna come to safety and them on it, and they can use it, whether from the FAA side or the
great.
public
Yeah, that would be
side.
amazing. I'm always interested
Public, I don't think they will have
there's so many
problems, because
software
if they know their
platforms
package can deliver
for
in a
drones,
couple
and
hours,
so
I think
it's always
that
interesting
will
to try out different ones
their
and see
fear
what maybe
from the
works the
drones
best
in
for
their
certain
backyard.
applications. So
The FAA as a whole, I will send you that because their mandate is to keep.
And I guess I have one
the
other question. So
airspace in the
you
world.
displayed a wide
And
array
I go to
of
their,
different applications of drones in
their
transportation. So
annual
I
conference
guess
with the
is there, in
AUVSI
your
in
mind, is there
Baltimore every
one
year.
application
And you
or I
see
guess
the
one
trend,
environment
like when we
where
started
using drones is like
5-6
the
years
most
with this
challenging,
conference,
or
they
you've had to jump through the most
frankly
hoops?
told us, look,
For
we
me,
don't
like
know what to do.
proximity to
I mean,
airports
we're
and
relying on you as industry
interstate
to
highway
tell us, because
facilities
they
can
didn't
be
have
kind
any
of challenging.
expertise
But what is your
on the
opinion on
drones.
that? Do you
And
have a
what is this? You know, so it was kind of nightmare for them. Airspace, but over the last 5-6 years,
right? Yeah,
they really
operations
developed. I think
planning.
they hired
Those sorts of
people
things,
where.
yeah.
Younger people who knows no traditional. Until recently, we can fly the EBX. But they still probably they're gonna have a lot we find the problem is reservation flying around developed urban area and where to fly. People. But they we could not do that much before. But at least now we have relief with the EPX. I think within 5 years you're gonna see it. But I mean, other than that, really, we don't have a problem. You're going to see it in your engineering project delivery road. But other than getting waiver,
so thank you for your
being allowed
answer.
to
And I
fly
was going to ask about the
these
safety
places,
and the security concerns and public acceptance. You touched on all of those, the points that obviously we need to address those, the concerns, and obviously work with the policymakers, FAA, and other entities, and to make this happen. But I think exciting times are ahead of us. So
I can
in terms
send
of
you
again looking
the
forward,
presentation if you want to share it with
you mentioned about
if there is interest in it. I can make a
different
PDF and send it
platforms
to you.
and sensors
Thank
and
you so much. We
technologies
greatly
and all
appreciate
that.
it. Actually, we post
How do you
these
think
recordings,
these, recording the
emerging
meeting
technologies
as a
will
video
continue
file
to
on
shape
the
the future of the
YouTube
UAS,
channel of our
especially
community?
in
They
the
also make
context
the
of like
presentation
transportation
available. We
engineering.
greatly appreciate
Let's
your
just say that I'll make it
generosity
is over
making
the
that
next decade.
possible. So
It's hard to know what
so
might happen
we
in
get
30
some,
years, but
what are your
thoughts
thoughts
for the
common questions
next 10
related to
years
UAS
and
technologies, Dr.
how do you think
Abdullah?
these
I can
emerging
ask some of
technologies will
those,
continue to shape
the,
one
the
of them
future of
is
UAS and
integration
transportation
of
engineering.
UAS in our,
The general aviation
what I'm hoping
space.
to, because
And
now we're
for
dealing with a
example,
small UAS,
when do you think
right?
it's
I
going
mean,
to be
that's what we're talking
possible?
about.
Yes,
we
yes.
start. I think
Receiving
we have
Amazon
a great
packages
lead
or
technology in
Walmart and other
that. Like I
companies.
said,
I know they've
especially and thanks
already
to
been working with
DJI. Unfortunately,
US
I
companies to
don't think
make those kinds of
DJI
things
will
possible.
operate much
What are
longer.
your
You
thoughts on
said
it?
it
When do you
seems
think that's going to
from
become
at
a
least for
reality? What
public
challenges do you
agencies.
see ahead?
A lot of now
no, I don't have any doubt
serious
that
decision
we're
about
going to
it.
see it
But
very soon.
but DJI made this technology
like I said,
available
we
for
are
everyone,
really,
and because of the volume they sell worldwide, they refined this technology. It's amazing.
I don't see why we
like I said,
cannot
the LiDAR from DJI
operate
10,000. I mean,
like
that's drones, the
like
way
Amazon
if you go, the Minivox I showed you,
plan to do it.
this one, the cheapest one will cost you $100,000.
I mean, the problem gonna be the airspace.
And now DJI is selling for 10,000, as good as the other one.
The people
perception and acceptance,
but not
much.
that's
So,
what probably
so
gonna
I
be
think
in the neighborhood, in the subdivision.
the next
With people
step we're
gonna be
looking for
open
is really
have
for
drones
long
fly
range,
low
bigger
over their
platform.
head.
But
Because with the small
I think platform
we
will
have
adopt it
everything
very
we want.
quickly.
I mean, people would know
And
what it means
now
and
with the
say.
sense and avoid,
So
definitely
as a
gonna
safety,
all gonna come
whether
to
gonna
safety
be
and how people feel about it,
by the FAA,
whether from the
but that's an
FAA
easy
side
technology
or
and
the
is
public
already
side.
starting.
Public, I don't think they will have
problem because
having
if they know
bigger
their package can deliver in a couple hours,
where we can
I think
maybe
that will
augment the manned aircraft
their fear
operation
from
in
the
our
drones in
business,
their
because we
backyard.
do a lot of bigger projects,
FAA is a
county-wise,
whole different
state-wise,
because
which you cannot do with
their
the drones
mandate
today.
is to
But
keep
in 10 years, I
the
think we will be
NAS
able
is the
to
safest
definitely
airspace in the world.
to augment that work
And
with
I go
drones,
to their,
bigger drones, where you can fly it for 5 hours and 5 hours.
their
And the
annual
speed,
conference with the AUVSI
comparable
in
to
Baltimore
manned
every year.
aircraft or close to
And
it.
you
See the trend, like when we started 5, 6
So
years
thank you
with this
again.
conference,
And I have, do we have any other
they
questions from
frankly
the
told us,
audience?
look, we don't know what to do. I mean, we're relying on you as industry to tell us, because they didn't have any expertise
we were talking about safety.
on the drones and what is this, you know.
What kind of
So it
outreach
was
or
kind of
best
nightmare
practices,
for
I guess,
them.
do you guys,
But over the last 5,
either
6
as
years,
Woolpert
they
or-
really developed. I think they hired
even
people
in
well,
education or whatever,
younger
as
people
far as
who knows,
outreach to
no
people that you're
traditional
gonna be
aviators.
flying around
And
here,
so,
try
but
to
they still
let them
probably
know
they're
what's
gonna
happening.
have
Do you
a
guys
lot of
go into a lot of that?
reservation on
We found sometimes it's better to kind
who
of
will fly
stay
and
under the
where to
radar, so
fly.
to speak.
But they
not
given
let anybody
permission
know
to
what you're
people
doing,
to fly
and then
anyway.
you tend to get
So
people out
I
there
think
kind of gawking
I
around
think
you.
within 5
But at the
years
same
you're
time,
gonna
we've
see it.
also, we've tried to
I mean,
publicize,
it
hey,
could
we're
be
going to be out
sooner,
here working
probably 2
in
to
this
3
area,
years. You're gonna
flying,
see
next
you're gonna
week.
see it in your
And
subdivision,
then
definitely
people seem to
delivered.
react pretty well to having some information rather
So
than not
thank you for
knowing what's
your,
going on.
the
Any
answer. And I was
comments
going to
or
ask
whatever's
about the
worked for you
safety
so
and,
far?
the security
I
concerns
can
and
comment on
public
that.
acceptance. You
Just to
touched on
bring
all
you
of those,
example, like
the points that
example I
obviously we
showed,
need
the
to
one
address
for
those,
DOT.
the concerns and obviously
over
work
that
with the
highway.
policymakers, FAA, and other entities
We
and to
drafted
make
the
this
letter.
happen. But I think exciting
and
times
I think
are ahead of
signed
us.
by
So
the Penn DOT,
in terms
where
of,
we
again, looking
visited
forward,
all
you
the
know,
neighbors
you mentioned
around
about,
it.
you know,
Not too many, fortunately,
different
wasn't too
platforms
many
and
neighbors
sensors and
was
technologies
around
and all
that
that.
highway.
You know, how
But
do you
there
think
was a few
these
houses, and
emerging
we have
technologies will
to
continue to shape the
to
future
do
of the
one
UAS,
on one
especially in
with
the
them.
context of
And
like
there was an
transportation and
older
engineering?
lady. She
Let's just
didn't
say
want
that
us to
I'll
do
make
it.
it as
I mean, it
over the
took us
next
a
decade.
while, the
It's hard to know
negotiation.
what might happen
She
in
just
30
didn't
years,
want us
but
to
what are
fly
your
over her
thoughts for
farm.
the next 10
So,
years?
so
And
that's what it
how do
takes.
you
You're
think
just going
these
to have
emerging
to have
technologies will
boots on the
continue to
ground
shape
for
the,
this
you know, the future
situation.
of UAS
And
and
to explain
transportation
to them,
engineering?
I mean, all we're doing is
Yeah, I think
nothing, shouldn't harm
what I'm
anything.
hoping to, because
In
now
your
we're
place
dealing with a
or
small UAS, right? I
or
mean,
your
that's what
farm.
we're talking about.
But
Yes,
that's what we do.
I think
it
we
depends
have
on the
a
project.
great leap
And
technology
you
in
can go
that,
to the
like I
extreme,
said,
like I just
especially
mentioned,
and thanks to
you
DJI.
negotiated with
Unfortunately,
the owners,
the
I don't think
homeowners or
DJI
the
will
business
operate
much longer
about
in the
what
United
you're
States,
doing.
it seems, from at least for public agencies. A lot of now
Thank you, Dr.
agencies are
Abdullah.
taking
So,
serious decision about
and
it.
any other
But
questions from
but
the
DJI
audience?
made this technology available for everyone, and
So,
because
Dr.
of
Abdullah,
the
if you don't
volume
mind,
they
I have
sell
one
worldwide,
last
they
question.
refined this
And
technology.
again,
It's
you have
amazing.
such
I
a
mean,
vast
like I said, the
experience, knowledge
LiDAR
on this
from
topic.
DJI,
And we actually have several
10,000. I mean, that's
people attending
unheard.
this,
Like,
you
if
know,
you go,
the
the
committee
mini
meeting
box I
webinar
showed
right
you,
now of young
this one,
engineers.
the
So what kind
cheapest
of
one will cost you $100,000
career
to buy,
advice do you have for
integrated.
young engineers,
100,000.
you know, who
And now
aspire to work
DJI is
with
selling for
UAS
10,000, as
technology
good
in
as the other one,
you know,
or
in the
maybe less,
transportation
little bit,
engineering field?
but
What
not
are
much.
your thoughts on
So,
that?
so I think
like
the
opportunity for
the next step we're looking for
early
is
career
really
in
for
it.
long
You mean
range,
Yeah,
bigger
I mean,
platform.
what kind of career
Because with the
advice do
small
you have for
platform,
young
we have
engineers
everything
and
we want.
people
And
in the, you know,
now with the sense and avoid,
getting
definitely you're gonna
involved
come
with the drones
and educating
whether
yourself,
going to be
whether operating
requirement
it
by
or
the FAA,
understanding
but
or
that's
dealing
easy
with it, with
technology
its
and
product
is already
as
starting.
a great
But I think
improvement to
having
anybody
bigger
career, definitely. This is
platform
very
where
sophisticated
we can
technology
maybe
and
augment
is doable.
the
Manned aircraft
very
operation in our business, because
capable
we do a
technology
lot
to
bigger project
help
engineer
countrywide,
and surveyor. For
statewide,
surveyor,
which you
this
cannot
drone
do with the
will be
drones
a tool in
today.
the toolbox.
But in 10
definitely.
years, I think you will
Because
be able
they can do a lot of
definitely
their
to
work now
augment
without
that work
doing
with
the
drones, bigger
the
drones, you know, where you
boots
can
on the
fly
ground
for
and
5
the
hours,
traditional
5 hours.
surveying.
And
You
the
have a
speed
mall, you can take
comparable
your
to
drones,
manned
fly it
aircraft or
over,
close to it.
go to the office, process the data, and extract
So thank
everything
you
you
again. And
used to do
I
it
have, do
in
we
the
have any other
field.
questions from the audience?
Assuming the accuracy allowing, because you cannot do
I just had one more.
sub-centimeter
You
accuracy
mentioned, we
easily
were
with the
talking about
drones.
safety.
But if 2-3 centimeter,
What kind of
if somebody
outreach or
want to
best
plan
practices, I guess, do you guys,
for a site,
either as
you
Woolpert
can do
or,
it from the
in
ortho,
even
for
education
example,
or
or
whatever,
from the point to
as far as
clouds for
outreach to people
elevation
that you're gonna
contours.
be flying around or
So
near
it is a great
try to
opportunity for
let 'em know
anybody
what's
career
happening? Do you guys go into a lot
to
of that?
adopt that and
We found
learn about
sometimes it's
it
better to kind of
and being able even to
stay under
operate
the
it,
radar,
get
so to
Part
speak, just
107,
not let anybody know what you're doing.
remote pilot
And
license,
then
for
you tend
example.
to have
It doesn't take that
people
much.
out there kind of gawking around you.
Okay.
But at the same time, we've also, we've
So
tried to
thank you so
publicize,
much
hey, we're going to
again,
be out here
Dr.
working
Abdullah, for
in
joining
this area,
today's
flying,
committee meeting and
next week.
kindly sharing your
And
knowledge
then
and
people seem to
experience with
react
us.
pretty
And
well
it's
to having
a
some
pure delight to
information
have you.
rather than
Thank you
not
so
knowing
much.
what's going on.
Thank you very much.
Any
Pleasure to talk
comments
to you
or
all.
whatever
Thank you very
worked
much
for you so far?
for inviting me. Yeah, I can comment on that.
And
Just
again,
to bring you
for
example, like
to say the people attending
example I
this
showed, the one
meeting,
for
if you haven't done
DOT
so, please provide your
over
name
that
and affiliation
highway.
and email address in the chat box if you haven't done so, so
We
that we know
drafted
how
the
to
letter,
contact you next time. So that's part of our
and
attendance.
I
So
think
thank you.
signed by the Penn
Blaine, do you
DOT,
want to
where
take
we
it
visited
from here?
all the neighbors around
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Not
So yeah,
too
thank you
many,
again, Dr.
fortunately,
Abdullah.
there wasn't too
This
many
next portion
neighbors
of our
was
meeting
around that
is
highway,
related to
but there was
topics
a
of
few
interest in the
houses,
UAS
and we
world
have
that are they're
to
kind of
to
newsworthy
do one
or worth
on one
discussing as a
with
group. And
them.
so this
And there
is
was
a
an
fairly
older lady.
informal
She didn't want
segment
us to do
where
it. I mean, it
I'm
took
just
us
going to
a
bring
while.
up particular
The
topics that
negotiation.
I
She
think are
just
very
didn't want
relevant
us to fly
to
over her
UAS
farm.
use as of late,
So
and
that's
then we
what it
can,
takes. You're just gonna
discuss
have
them as a
to
group.
have boots on the ground for
First
this
one
situation.
being one
And to explain to
that
them,
Dr.
I mean,
Abdullah
all
also
we're
brought
doing
up,
is
which is remote
nothing,
ID
shouldn't harm
implementation.
anything
So the
in
FAA
your
has
place
imposed the remote ID requirements
or your
after
farm.
a long
But
time
that's what
of many
we do. I
delays.
mean,
I think
it
this was
depends on the
first
project,
discussed back in
and
like maybe
you can go to the
2020
extreme, like I just
initially.
mentioned.
So
You
they've kind of kicked
negotiated
the
with
can,
the
so to
owners,
speak,
the
for a long
homeowners,
time, and
or
it
the
finally just
business
took
owner
effect a few weeks
about
ago.
what you're
So
doing.
this obviously has big implications for the whole of the UAS industry,
Thank
not
you,
just
Dr.
related to
Abdullah.
transportation,
So,
but
and
at least
any other
speaking from my
questions
perspective
from the
at my
audience?
department, we've had to retire some
So,
of our
Dr. Abdullah,
fleet
if you don't mind, I have one
and
one
also
last
purchase new
question.
equipment as
And
well. So
again,
Absolutely,
you
yeah.
have
just
such
behind
a
me here, you'll
vast
probably see
experience, knowledge on this
the
topic.
DJI
And
Mavic
we
3
actually have
Enterprise that
several
we
people
recently
attending
upgraded
this,
to. Also in the
the
case is
committee
the
meeting
DJI
webinar right
Phantom
now of
4
young
Pro, which
engineers.
we've
So,
had
what
to
kind of
retire.
career
And we
advice do
mainly
you have
retired
for
that
young
because of,
engineers,
you can
who
purchase
aspire to
remote
work with
ID
US technology in
modules that are
the,
provided by
the transportation
third-party
engineering field? What are
producers,
your
but
thoughts
it was
on
just
that?
kind of cost prohibitive for us to do that with
Like
this particular
opportunity
drone. So that's going to be retired from our fleet.
early career
But
in
yeah,
it,
is there
you mean?
any other
Or-
insight? I
Yeah. I
see a
mean,
lot of
what kind of
state DOT
career
level
advice
folks
do you have for young
and people
engineers
from
and
industry,
people in
academia.
the,
So does anyone else
I,
have any
I think
sort of
I think
insight or what are
getting
the
involved
implications for
with
you?
the drones and educating yourself, whether operating it or understanding or dealing with it with its product, is a great improvement to anybody's career. Definitely, this is very sophisticated technology and is doable. Very capable technology to help engineer and surveyor. For surveyor, this drone will be a tool in the toolbox, definitely, because they can do a lot of their work now without doing the boots on the ground and the traditional surveying. You have a mall, you can take your drones, fly it over, go to the office, process the data, and extract everything you used to do it in the field. Assuming the accuracy allowing, because you cannot do sub-centimeter accuracy easily with the drones. But if 2-3 centimeter, or somebody want to plan for a site, you can do it from the orbit, for example, or from the point clouds for elevation contours. So it is a great opportunity for anybody career to adopt that and learn about
that's a
it,
great point, Ed.
and being able
actually,
even to operate.
I should have mentioned that
Part 107.
yeah, the FAA does have
remote pilot license for
a list of
doesn't
sort
take
of
that much.
pre-qualified drones.
Okay.
And yeah, the firmware
So
updates.
thank you so much
my
again,
personal drone
Dr.
at home
Abdullah,
is
for
also a
joining
Mavic
today's
2, so
committee
that one
meeting
is
and
still
kindly
able to be
sharing your
used.
knowledge and
But I
experience
think
with
it's just
us.
some of the
And
really
it's
older models that
a
are kind of
pure
more
delight to have
flagship
you. Thank you so
editions.
much.
Thank you very
Might not
much.
be
Pleasure to talk
appropriate
to you
anymore.
all. Thank you very
But
much.
yeah, interesting.
Thank
It's
you.
an interesting topic. I think it's
And again,
ultimately a
for
good thing.
to say
It's going to
the
improve
people attending
safety
this
in
meeting,
UAS
if
use
you haven't
and
done so,
reduce the
please
chance
provide
of
your
sort of
name and
drone
affiliation and
manned
email address in
aircraft
the chat box
conflicts,
if you haven't done so,
as
so
well
that
as
we know
just
how to
provide more
contact you next time.
transparency
So that's part of
for
our
people who might be
attendance. So
interested.
thank you.
Drones can also be a security
Blaine, do you want
concern
to take
in
it
some cases.
from here?
Sure. But yeah, so that's
Thank
one
you.
really notable. So yeah, thank you again, Dr. Abdullah. Another one is next portion one that I wanted to bring up. Meeting is related to topics of interest in the UAS world at the federal level, kind of newsworthy US government or worth discussing as a group. And so this is a fairly informal segment where I believe it's called the American Drone Security Particular topics that And this has big implications to UAS use for, those of us late in private industry that, discuss them as a group. Federal government. First clients being basically we're prohibited from Dr. Abdullah also brought up, which is remote ID foreign manufactured drones. They have to be what's called the blue UAS. The FAA has imposed the remote ID requirements, which is a U.S. manufactured and assembled of many delays drone. I think this was first discussed back in like maybe 2020 UAS initially. But this obviously has it kind of kicked the can the UAS markets for a long time, and it finally just took effect. And I think that even though this is at the federal level now, this obviously has big. I've heard many rumors of other the whole of state level industry, not just relating to transportation, but policy. At least speaking from my perspective, I work for a county road department, so we've had to retire some of our projects that utilize federal funding, and also purchase new equipment as well. So it doesn't really impact just us behind me here. You're still using DJI equipment, which DJI Mavic is arguably one of the most common recently upgraded to equipment out there. Also in the case of the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else and we mainly retired that they might want to share from state purchase remote ID or maybe modules that are federal provided by third-party producers.
Blaine, this is
but
Colin
it was just kind of cost prohibitive for us to
I think it's important to note that
particular drone. So
the
that's
ASD there doesn't actually restrict drone purchases.
But yeah, is there any
federal
other
government
insight?
funds to just blue UAS. That's actually only a requirement for Department of Defense.
From industry, academia.
However, is in there is
sort of insight or
a restriction, and they have to be NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act compliant, which is a larger set of drones outside just the blue UAS list. And that's something that has not been widely understood about appropriate use of the blue UAS list.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, I just hear the blue UAS kind of being referred to on many industry forums and things like that. It seems like people are probably aware of that. So.
It's become the automatic default, but I think even the Department of Defense would admit that they never intended it to be the only list of drones acceptable for purchase and use for federally funded projects. And there's been some good discussion and a couple of articles coming out about that. And it's certainly something that's affected my own work as I work for non-DoD federal agencies. Like I've just got a Department of Interior project, and the Department of Interior had its own requirements list. And for example,
of drones out there,
it basically NDAA compliance is sufficient, and that is a wider group.
We just happen to have.
And I see Brian Qassim making a similar comment. The blue UAS has become a proxy for non-DJI, for better or for worse. I agree, it has become a proxy, but it's not actually correct. And hopefully people can. That's something maybe.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ed. And actually,
now,
I should have mentioned
future rules get passed, like there's the proposed law about restricting drones from covered countries, drones, meaning China, about not being able to use FCC regulated airwaves, which is in front of Congress at the committee level, and would truly ground the DJI drones for everybody.
I think it's just some of the really older models that are kind of more flagship.
That's still just at the committee level, but there are other issues potentially impacting us as a community.
Yeah, interesting. Well. It's an interesting
I agree with
topic.
Colin 100%.
I think it's
Spectrum, quite frankly, is really the mitigating factor that'll go ahead and ground these birds when it comes down to it. As far as blue or any other color, green is probably the most salient right now, which of course is a designation from NVSI, but their relationship with FAA right now really makes that a more viable alternative for municipalities, governments that want to make sure that they're compliant.
But yeah, so that's one
something
really
that is not going away anytime soon. I think we all know. I don't care if it's a state level or a federal
one that
initiative.
I wanted to bring up is the recent ban on foreign manufactured
I'll
drones
add a link about
Navy
USI's green UAS list to the
I think
UAS
this was signed into law
to the chat window
in December, and yeah, that'd be great. The American Drone Security Act. Any clarity, and this has big implications, especially for surrounding this issue. Those of us even in private industry that, because have federal government. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's basically we're prohibited for using the foreseeable future. Foreign manufactured drones. They have to be what's called the blue UAS. Those are kind of the two topics that were of note to me. But U.S. manufactured and assembled other drone topics that FAA has a list of the blue UAS. But this obviously has big
Yeah, great
implications
discussion.
for
And
the UAS
actually,
markets
Colin,
worldwide.
we've been discussing this issue
And
as part
I
of
think
our
that even
ongoing
though this is
FAA
at the
project
federal
in
level
terms
now,
of
I've heard many rumors
utilization
of
of
other people at the state level
SUAS
who are
for
considering implementing a
airfield payment
similar
inspection and all that. So we've been
policy.
having
So
discussions on this.
I
And
work for a
I feel
county
that
road department, so we're not
Blaine,
really
we
working
should have a
on
dedicated,
projects that utilize
let's say
federal
the
funding.
quarterly committee meeting on
And
this,
so it doesn't really impact
let's say
us
the
too
Blue
much. We're
UAS
still
and
using
related topics
DJI
and all that.
equipment, which
I think it
is
warrants
arguably
some,
the most
let's say the
common
discussion.
equipment
I
out
think it
there
will get
in
interest, and
terms
hopefully
of
we can
drones.
provide more
But yeah, I don't know
clarifications
if
and
anyone else
get our colleagues
has
participate in a discussion on that
perspective
topic.
that they might want to share from state DOT level, I think that'll or be maybe something that even will those who are working definitely with consider federal doing in the near government future. clients. So
Yeah. And there
Blaine,
was
this is
actually
Colin
a
Brooks from
paper
Michigan Tech.
published at
I
the
think it's important to know that
presented at the
the ASD there doesn't
2024
actually
TRD annual
restrict
meeting,
drone
and
purchases
they are waiting
with
for
federal
their
government funds to
publication to come
just
out
Blue
as one of
UAS.
the
That's
Journal of
actually
the
only a
Transportation
requirement for
Research
Department of
Boards,
Defense.
that's the articles.
It
So,
does however
and
is
we
in
can get
there
in touch with
is
those colleagues and
a
others,
restriction, and they have to
obviously
be
including the colleagues attending
NDAA,
this
National
meeting,
Defense Authorization
to
Act
have a
compliant, which
dedicated
is a
discussion on that.
larger set of drones outside just the Blue UAS list.
Okay, great. Well, yeah, I'll turn it back
That's
to
something
you,
that
Khalil,
has
and
not
we
been
can
widely
continue,
understood about
with our agenda.
appropriate use of the Blue UAS list.
So we mentioned
thanks
about
for clarifying that.
let's say
Yeah,
the
I just
upcoming
hear
meetings
the Blue
earlier.
UAS kind
And
of being
again, we
referred
will
to
continue
on
to have our
many
quarterly committee
industry forums
meetings,
and things like that.
and
It
we
seems
will
like
get in touch with
some
you by
people are probably
email.
unaware of that.
And
It's
the
become
next
the
meeting
automatic
is going to be
default,
held
but I
hybrid,
think even the Department of
because
Defense would admit that they
let's say
never
that our
intended it
committee
to
is
be
going
the
to have
only
its
list
own
of drones acceptable for
meeting
purchase and use for
in Atlanta,
federally
Georgia,
funded projects.
and you see the dates here, June 15
And
to 18,
there's been some good
2024.
discussion and a couple articles coming out about
That's
that, and it's certainly
International
something
Conference
that's
on Transportation
affected
and
my own
Development.
work
It's
as
an annual
I work
event
for non-DoD federal
organized by
agencies.
the
Like I've just got a
ASCE
Department of Interior
Transportation and
project,
Development Institute,
and the Department of
T&DI.
Interior had its own requirements
And
list. And for
I hope
example,
that you can be with us in person if you're attending the
basically
conference.
NDAA
Otherwise,
compliance is
and again,
sufficient,
we'll
and
make
that is
accommodations
a wider
by
grouping.
providing a virtual attendance list.
And I see Brian
like
Qassim making a similar comment.
so that
the
you can
Blue
still,
UAS has become a proxy for
to
non-DGI,
join the
for better or for
discussions.
worse.
And
I agree, it has become a proxy, but
watch,
it's not
attend the
actually correct, and
presentations
hopefully
and all that. So, and you
people
can see the
that's
website
maybe
address there.
groups like
There is
this
still
can,
time to register for
help
this
with. Now,
conference.
if future rules
And
get passed, like there's
Blaine
the
and I have
proposed
actually
law about
presentations on UAS to be
restricting
delivered,
drones
and
from
there will
covered
be actually
countries, largely
two
China,
dedicated
about not being able
topics
to
on
use
UAS
FCC regulated
technologies and
airwaves,
transportation engineering,
which is in front of
with several
Congress
other
at the committee level,
presentations.
and would
At the
truly ground
conference,
the
there will be a number of
DGI drones
posted
for everybody.
presentations, committee meetings, and related.
That's
they say the
still just
discussions
at the committee
going
level,
on
but there
at
are
this,
other
say the conference.
issues potentially impacting us as a community as well.
And another
I agree with Colin
hybrid meeting that
100%.
we have is
Spectrum,
the
quite frankly, is really the mitigating
annual
factor that'll
meetings.
go ahead and ground these
And
birds
so the
when it
next
comes
one
down
is
to it.
the
As far as blue
2025.
or
As
any
you know,
other
this
color,
meeting takes
green
place
is
every
probably the most
January in
salient right
Washington,
now, which of
D.C.
course is a
So
designation
again,
from
our committee is
AUVSI,
going to have a
their
hybrid
relationship
meeting
with
there.
FAA right
So
now
that will
really
be a
makes
link for
that
you
a
to
more
join
viable
virtually
alternative for
or attend in person.
municipalities,
At
governments
the
that want to make sure that they're
next
compliant.
Transportation
This is
Research
something
Board
that
annual
is not going
meeting
away
in
anytime soon. I
Washington,
think we all
D.C.
know. I don't care if it's a state level or a federal
And
initiative.
as we mentioned earlier,
I'll add
we
a
do
link
have,
about AVUSI's Green UAS
opportunities
list to
for
the UAS effort.
our interested members, they say they to
Okay,
join
yeah,
our
that'd be great.
officers,
Yeah,
committee officers. So if
any
any of you are
clarity
interested in it,
that
please
we
let us
can
know.
provide folks out
And
there
we'll be
surrounding this
happy
issue, I
to
think is great.
say they get in touch with you,
'Cause,
see how
yeah,
you can help with
like
our
Brian said,
committee.
I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to be ever developing.
Blaine, did you have
the
anything else to add related to this slide?
But yeah, those are kind of the two topics that were of note to me. But I don't know if anyone else has other topics that are colleagues in person as a group today. There's a lot of benefit that I personally get.
Yeah,
from
great
this
discussion.
conference,
And actually, with Colin, we've been discussing this issue as part of our ongoing FAA project in terms of we already talked about this utilization of committee membership. If you would like to be a full voting member, and all that, you need to be an ASCE member in good standing. And I feel that guidance. Otherwise, we should have a dedicated, quarterly get involved with activities, attend the, the UAS and meetings and all that through an associate membership. And we do actually, you need to go and fill out an application if you would like to officially join our,
we can provide more clarifications and get our colleagues participate in a discussion on that topic.
Website. And they have this,
Yeah, I
the
agree.
link
I
there
think that'll be
for,
something that we'll definitely consider
community
doing in the near
applications.
future. So,
And from the drop down,
and there was actually a paper published at the presented at the 2024 TRD annual meeting, and they are waiting for their publication to come out as one of the Journal of the Transportation Research Board, the articles. So, and we can get in touch with those colleagues and others, so obviously including the colleagues.
As we mentioned earlier, we do have
a dedicated discussion on that.
Available positions within our committee.
hey, great. Well, yeah,
and again, we've been able to recruit some colleagues who are now part of our officers leadership team. And so we mentioned about the upcoming meetings, scheduling of committee activities, and again, we will continue to have our quarterly committee meetings on the social media. We will get in touch with you by email. And the next meeting is going to be held hybrid to schedule events. So, we highly encourage you to have its opportunity, especially for meeting, the younger colleagues in Atlanta, Georgia. And you see the dates here, June 15 to 18, such availability. And we would love to hear from you. That's you can send an email to the committee website that I showed earlier. It's an annual event. Put your name and interest organized by the right now, or get in touch with us by email or a phone call. I hope that you can be with us in person.
We greatly appreciate
again
the
conference.
Otherwise,
you
taking the time to attend today's meeting.
If you have ideas for us to cover in our future meetings, so that you can still topic that you want us to cover, join the discussions. And if any of you are interested in being a guest speaker and deliver a presentation, you can see share your website address there. There's still time to register for these results through UAS-based projects. Blaine and I have actually. So we'd love to hear from you. To be delivered, and we have many colleagues, two dedicated topics who have attended our previous meetings, and then we were able to host them as a guest speakers, at the conference, the meetings. There will be a number of poster presentations, committee meetings, and related. This is something that you would like to discussions. I know we have great colleagues doing some really great work in terms of utilization of small uncrewed aircraft systems meeting that we have is the TRB. We'd love to have you as one of our guest speakers. And so the next one is the 2025. As you know, this meeting takes place every January in Washington, D.C. So again, our committee is going to have a hybrid meeting there. So that will be a link for you to join virtually or attend in person. Thank you again for Transportation Research Board. Greatly appreciate it. We would like to thank again Dr. Qassim Abdullah for delivering a great presentation and contributing to today's meeting and webinar. So we greatly appreciate the opportunities for our interested members. And Blaine, do you have anything else to add? Join our officers, committee officers. So if any of you are interested in, please let us know.
And please take our follow-up survey with the QR code on the screen. That helps us
get in touch with you, see how you can help with our committee
content for our
activities.
So yeah, thank you.
Blaine, did you have anything else to add? Our next meeting is going to be in mid-June, and we will
no, I don't think so.
Get in touch with you by email, and it will be in hybrid format at the ASCE T&DI International Conference on Transportation and Development.
So a lot of benefit that
thank you again, and stay well, and let's keep in touch.
Really looking forward to that.
And we already talked about this, but in terms of committee membership, if you would like to be a full voting member, you need to be an ASCE member in good standing. That's again ASCE guidance. Otherwise, you can, get involved with activities, attend the, the committee meetings and all that through an associate membership. And we do actually, you need to go and fill out an application if you would like to officially join our, the committee. And that's through, again, ASCE T&DI, the website. And they have this, the link there for, the committee applications. And from the drop-down menu, you can actually choose UAS Committee, Uncrewed Aircraft Systems, and then we will actually receive that application and then review as a committee leadership team. And once it gets approved, again, if you are a full member, then you can actually serve as a full voting member of the, say, the committee. So as we mentioned earlier, we do have available positions within our committee. And again, we've been able to recruit some colleagues who are now part of our officers leadership team. And you can help us, again, managing scheduling of committee activities and webinars and putting contents on the social media and websites and all that, and coordinate with other committees and subcommittees to schedule events. So we highly encourage you. It's a wonderful opportunity, especially for, let's say, the younger colleagues to take on these opportunities. But we have such availability, and we would love to hear from you. So you can send an email to the committee website that we showed earlier, or put your name and interest on the chat box right now, or get in touch with us by email or a phone call. And we greatly appreciate, again, to, you taking the time to attend today's meeting. If you have ideas for us to cover in our future meetings, if there's a topic that you want us to cover, please let us know. If any of you are interested in being a guest speaker and deliver a presentation, share your, the findings, results through UAS-based projects and all that. So we'd love to hear from you. And we had many colleagues, showing interest, actually, who have attended our previous meetings, and then we were able to host them as a guest speaker in the follow-up, the meetings. So please, let us know if this is something that you would like to do. I know we have great colleagues doing some really great work in terms of utilization of small uncrewed aircraft systems in transportation engineering. We'd love to have you as one of our guest speakers in our upcoming meetings. So, and there's a survey here and with a QR code. If you can please fill it out and let us know how we do and what kind of suggestions that you have, we greatly appreciate it. So, thank you again for attending today's meeting. We greatly appreciate it. We would like to thank again Dr. Qassim Abdullah for delivering a great presentation and contributing to today's meeting and webinar. So we greatly appreciate, all of you attending today's meeting. So, and Blaine, do you have anything else to add?
I think that wraps it up. Yeah, thanks to everyone again, and please take our follow-up survey at this QR code on the screen. That helps us improve future content for our audience. So yeah, thank you.
And again, as a reminder, our next meeting is going to be in mid-June, and we will get in touch with you by email, and it will be in hybrid format at the ASCE T&DI International Conference on Transportation and Development. So thank you again, and stay well, and let's keep in touch.